Kia ora koutou, Marky here. So one of the best things about being a YouTuber for me is when you end up getting in some really interesting conversations with people that comment, or other people on YouTube, people with other channels, or people that join the discussion. I like to have a bit of discussion. Obviously, I don't like trolls. They're kind of inevitable evil, but I get some really nice comments sometimes from people, and some really helpful ones. And I did a video back along. I'll show you it actually. So I'm pointing the camera at the computer screen, and apologies for that kind of horrible jazzing effect that you get sometimes, because I want to talk about some things that are on video. So I had lots of comments on this one, which is nice. So I did a video all about Eve's song meanings, Road to Your Soul and Scarlet. Okay, and had a comment on this video. So I do videos on song lyrics fairly often, as much as I probably do anything. And I started doing this because although it's a retroactive jealousy channel, we don't just talk about retroactive jealousy for reasons that I've explained in other videos. And I'm a psychotherapist. I specialize in not just in retroactive jealousy, even a few other things as well. But I like to look at the psychology of song lyrics, and sometimes song lyrics speak to a particular psychological condition, or just something that's part of the human condition, and I like to analyze them and share them in videos. Really enjoy that, and really enjoy it when other people join the party, which probably happens more in the song videos than anything else actually. So I had recently, this is an old video that I did. I've recently had a very helpful comment from somebody who I'm trying to find. You can see all my friends here. From April Ragsdale 2846. Do you enjoy the mission? Yes, I do. And I've actually done an analysis of at least one mission song. That's Let Sleeping Dogs Die, which I think, I don't think it's probably was written about retroactive jealousy, but it describes retroactive jealousy perfectly. So I made a video talking about that. And if I get myself organized, I'll put a link to that below. But you can also check out, I've got a playlist for song analyses, so you can just go onto that and find all the songs that I've done. I've done quite a few All About Eve songs, one mission song. I've done Some by the Fields of the Nephilim. I'm kind of listing bands that are of that era and that style, or that, I mean, they're very different bands in lots of ways. Certainly the Fields of the Nephilim is different, but they're all, for me, they all come into kind of one category of kind of 80s, late 80s goth. All About Eve less so, but they certainly went there. So anyway, yes, I do enjoy the mission. I love the mission. So I think Wayne's lyrics, "There's no scarlet in you" in Butterfly on a Wheel, was a response to All About Eve, Scarlet. So All About Eve, so I made a video, I did two for the price of one. I talked about Road to Your Soul and Scarlet, two All About Eve songs. And I won't go into what I said about them, because you can watch the video. But April Ragsdale 2846 kindly watched that and commented. And yes, so Wayne, what she means by Wayne is Wayne Hussey, who's the lead singer of The Mission. And Butterfly on a Wheel is a song that was on their Carved in Sand album. Not an album that I bought kind of not at the time, but a little bit after, quite a while after it came out, I think. And I've never been that familiar with the album, so I was familiar with the song. I remembered the song, but I didn't remember the lyrics at all. So that's interesting. That's an interesting question. So are the lyrics "There's no scarlet in you," was it a response to All About Eve's song Scarlet? So that was, to me, that was a red rag to a bull in a good way. I went straight to the lyrics of Butterfly on a Wheel and started to look at them, and I'm going to discuss my thoughts on that with you now. And in fact, I'm going to go through it a little bit off the cuff. I've looked at the lyrics a couple of times, but I'm going to go through them with you now and just share my thoughts as we go. But what I'm more interested in is what you think. Okay, so first of all, I'm interested in your answer to this question. Does do you think that that line in Butterfly on a Wheel was a response to the All About Eve song Scarlet? And then what's I found really interesting was I thought, as I read through the lyrics, I thought, well, blimey, there appear to be nods here to other All About Eve songs. And I thought, well, is this some kind of tribute to All About Eve, or is the song been inspired by All About Eve? And and I don't know. I still haven't come to that conclusion. I might be reading too much into it, but there are some definite, strong correlations. So let me know. And I thought we could maybe play a game, go through the lyrics, and see. I want you to tell me, assuming that you were a Mission and an All About Eve fan, how many possible references there are in those lyrics to All About Eve songs. And obviously, it would only make sense to include ones that were written before that song came out, unless you gift Wayne Hussey with the gift of prophecy. So now what I should have done is queued this up first. And for those of you new to this channel, it's I'm a neurodivergent person with a neurodivergent channel, and I do things in the moment. I think about things before, but I don't script things, and there is no presentation value in this channel whatsoever. It's all content and no style, and I film things on my iPhone, which is why it's wobbly. There's a wobbly screen, and it's a conversational style which isn't to everyone's taste. So if you're looking for a slick, well prepared presentation, you won't find it here, but you will find some jovial and genial conversational discussion. And what I like to think is that we're having a chat together. We're maybe sitting on a sofa or a comfy chair, reminiscing about music and discussing some of the things that we've enjoyed, and maybe playing some of this stuff in the background. So right, let me see if I can, without too much fumbling around, go to the song, or the song lyrics. I should be better off not on YouTube, wouldn't I? Be better off going to them on Monsieur Google. So what I meant to do was look up the reference to Butterfly on a Wheel, because it was a film as well, I think, wasn't it? And probably a novel and a play and a opera and lots of other things. I don't know where that phrase actually comes from. That's what I should have looked up beforehand. But maybe you can do that and put that in the comments. Butterfly on a Wheel. I mean, what I do know is that Butterfly on a Wheel is a reference to kind of overkill. Butterfly is something very delicate. It's about breaking a butterfly on a wheel, isn't it? Butterfly doesn't need to be broken on a wheel, but butterfly is so delicate you must breathe on a butterfly and damage it. So breaking a butterfly on a wheel is overkill, completely over the top, not to mention nasty, not a nice thing to do. So Butterfly on a Wheel lyrics, sorry about this. If the adverts come up on the screen, they're nothing to do with me, okay? I'm not responsible for these adverts. The Mission. So if there's any confusion, the Mission are sometimes referred to as the Mission UK, because presumably there's another band called the Mission not in the UK, so they're known by that to distinguish. And the Mission kind of came out of another band that I love called the Sisters of Mercy, and I want to do a video on one of their songs. I want to do a video on the song Alice, because I think that song has something to say about psychology, particularly things like anxiety and OCD. I work a lot with OCD as a therapist, so that one's on the way. So the Mission formed out of a split between Andrew Eldritch and everyone else, basically. The rest of the band formed the Mission. I think there was a bit of I think both decided they wanted to name the Mission, and there was a bit of a battle as to who got it, and the rest is history. But I love all of this. I love Sisters of Mercy. I like the Sisterhood. I like the Mission. So the Mission and All About Eve both came to the forefront around about the same time. and there's a lot of, for those of you not versed in these bands, there was a lot of interchange between the two bands. So Julian Regan from All About Eve sang backing vocals on a few Mission songs, including some of my two favourite ones, Severina and Love You to Death. I love those songs, and I love Julian's backing vocals on those. And then Wayne Hussey sang backing vocals on All About Eve, and now Julian Regan and Wayne Hussey collaborate musically. And who was it? Didn't I can't remember whether it was. Did Andy Cousin join? Andy Cousin was from All About Eve. I think he did join the Mission as well, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. And then Tim Braccino joined the Sisters of Mercy. So it's all very, you know, I say incestuous, but that's kind of got a negative connotation. Is cross-fertilizing. That's a better way of putting it, isn't it? So here we go. Are you ready? So you might want to have pen and paper. Sorry about the jazzy screen. I hope it's not giving you a migraine. And see if you can tick off, it's like kind of All About Eve bingo. Tick off as many lines in this song that make you think of All About Eve songs. Okay, and I'm just going to go with songs as they come to mind, and of course the ones that I come up with may of course have been written and released after Butterfly on a Wheel was released, but you know my creative brain doesn't work that way. I have to just think of the songs. So if I've listed some that were released afterwards, you can let me know in the comments if you like. So Silver and Gold. Well, there you go. There's a start. So Gold and Silver by All About Eve, which yeah, that's a great song, isn't it? Silver and Gold. And It's Growing Cold. Autumn Leaves. Yeah, what is it? What's the autumn thing with All About Eve? Did they do something autumny? I'm sure they did, but it's not coming to mind. Lay as Thick as Thieves. Shivers Down Your Spine. Chill You to the Bone. Shivers Down Your Spine, Chill You to the Bone. Now that's making me think of the song Calling Your Name, which I love. Which actually Hussey and Regan did a version of, didn't they? They actually recorded a different version of that song. Just so you're aware, as well as a playlist for I call it psych songs, for songs that I've kind of song lyrics that I've analysed, as well as that playlist for those. I also have a playlist for All About Eve kind of rarities and B-sides and stuff like that. Now it was for personal use. I put this together because I think just like the song Calling Your Name was a B-side, or it was an EP or something like that. A lot of All About Eve's best stuff isn't on the albums, which is sort of sometimes the way. Not to say there isn't great stuff on the albums as well, but there's some really good stuff that's just bunged on a B-side, and I think Calling Your Name was one of those, and it's kind of spooky. Line in there is about Incan's second sight, which is or was the title of the All About Eve fanzine. Chill You to the Bone. I think there is a line in that song, Calling Your Name, which refers to chilling to the bone. I could be wrong, because the mandolin wind. No, I've got no idea what that's a reference to. It might be musical flatulence. Is the melody that turns your heart to stone. The heat of your breath, carving shadows in the mist. Every angel. So even I get that one. So how many have I got so far? Two and a half songs. So every angel, that was on the first album. She's Never Been Kissed, a broken dream, haunting in your sleep and hiding in your smile, secret you must keep, love cuts you deep. Love breaks the wings of a butterfly on a wheel, that's the chorus. And then we get to the line that made me come here in the first place. There's no scarlet in you. And this is where I need to release one hand and use my Monsieur Lemousse. to scroll down a little bit. There's no scarlet in you. Lay your veil down for me. As sure as God made wine. You can't wrap your arms around a memory. Okay, so I'm getting connotations here. Don't worry, I'm seeing the doctor about it. Rather than direct references. You can't wrap your arms around a memory. So December by All About Eve. What's the reference there? Might as well, talking about to breathe life into the dust of a keepsake. Might as well try to fix a chain on a snowflake or a heartache. That makes me think of that, but I'm not sure I get a point for that. But it has that feel. As sure as God made wine. This makes me think about we only dare to say please love me at the 7th glass of wine, but that's too much of a stretch. Cold autumn wind, cut sharp as a knife. I think about what's that? What's the All About Eve song? It's on the album Scarlet and Other Stories. Really interesting lyrics. And I think I might have talked about them in a video, but maybe talked about how I kind of couldn't make head and tail of about cutting hair with a carving knife or something. And in the dark for me, you're the candle flame that flickers to life. So in calling your name, going back to that song again, I'll be the wind that blows the candle out. So this time it's been, for me, you're the candle flame that flickers to life. So rather than, it's the opposite, rather than burning out, blowing out, it's flickering to life. Now I need to scroll down again, so forgive the clumsiness. It's a clumsy channel, whether you like it or not. So love breaks the wings of a butterfly on the wheel. Love will break the wings of a butterfly. Love will break the wings of a butterfly on the wheel. Love breaks them, blah, blah, blah. Wise men sing, only fools run. No, that's going off the topic, isn't it? Wise men say all is fair in love and war, and there's no right or wrong in the design of love. And I could only watch as the wind crushed your wings, broken and torn, crushed like a flower under the snow. Now, this makes me think of, and again, I might be stretching it too far. I'm not saying I'm right in interpreting these lyrics. I'm very tentative here, okay? So I could be completely wrong, but crushed like a flower under the snow. So wildflowers. So as the seasons will and they hold will all the dreams. It's about wildflowers. Well, obviously a song called Wildflowers would be about wildflowers, wouldn't it? At least metaphorically. Something about will all the seeds we've sown survive beneath the snow. Also makes me think of mice as well. Not the device for moving the cursor around, but the band Mice, which Julian Regan was in. Can I take a wildflower and crush her? No, can I take a wildflower and turn her into a nuclear power plant? Because I can't. Like the flower in spring, love will rise again to heal your wings. Now that makes me think of Blackbird by the Beatles, but I'm going way off now. Okay, so this is interesting. So it gives you the songwriters. So we're talking about Wayne Hussey, but Simon Hinkler, Mick Brown, Craig Adams. Okay, so they're all credited there, but that might be that the others contributed music and Wayne did the lyrics, which I think is how it normally rocks with the mission. So what do you think? I haven't kept score of how many I've come up with. So what have I come up with that's strong, and what have I come up with that's tentative? So silver and gold, 1. I think because there's a few different things that maybe hint at calling your name, I'll call that a 2. Actually count that. Every Angel, 3. There's no scarlet in you, 4. Following lines are a little bit more tentative. Crushed like a flower, yeah, the reference to wildflowers is too tentative. So I'm going to say that it could be argued that there are references to 4 All About Eve songs there, and possibly more. but I'm equally open to the possibility that none of those are references to All About Eve songs. And I'm also equally open to the possibility that it's what they I'm not saying this is plagiarism, because it's not, but I think George Harrison maybe first coined the term subliminal plagiarism with the amazing song My Sweet Lord. I love that song, which he got taken to court for plagiarizing, and I think what he acknowledged, I think he lost the case, and I think he acknowledged that he didn't mean to, he wasn't aware that he was doing it, but it's like, it's something we do, isn't it? When we listen to something, we forget that we've heard it, and then it can come out, in something that we write. It probably happens more than we think, really. But people get in big trouble for it. It's interesting. In the old days, it was much more normal just to kind of blatantly rip off, melodies or lyrics or bits and pieces from other people's songs. So bands like Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, they talk about how they pinch whole chunks of other people's songs. But there we go. So no, we're not accusing anybody of doing anything wrong, but other than perhaps being influenced by a fellow artist, or subliminally, either kind of consciously or unconsciously. So there you go. So I really want to hear what you think about this, and check out the playlists, and listen out for my song about Alice, which is coming soon. I say that sometimes I get sidetracked, I get into something else, and I don't do the video that I'm talking about for ages, but I'm hoping to do that one fairly soon, because I love that song, really do love that song. I think some of these bands from this era, they've continued, and the music has continued in one form or another by the members of these bands since then. But stunning stuff, and all under the radar. Never really got, never hit the big time. We touched on it occasionally. It's like All About Eve were on Top of the Pops, and This Corrosion was, charted quite well and stuff like that, but mostly underground music. But certainly, I think Julianne Regan, All About Eve, the best lyrics, the most poetic lyrics I've come across in music, by a long shot, actually, not by a short amount, but by a long shot, which is why I like to talk about them in videos. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. If you want to help us out, so we can make more videos like this, you can do lots of stuff like subscribe and like and comment and all that kind of thing. Just by watching this video, you are helping us help people that suffer with something called retroactive jealousy, because everything that people watch, the more views we get, the more YouTube promote all our videos, including the retroactive jealousy ones. And retroactive jealousy is a horrible condition, not formally recognized yet, but millions of people probably worldwide suffer with it. Most of those people are suffering in ignorance and isolation, and not even realizing it's a thing, thinking it's just them that has these weird experiences and this huge distress. And we're wanting to get the message out to them that you're not alone. It is a condition, it is a thing, and there is a way to recover from it. So just by listening to this, you're helping people, which is nice to know. So thank you for watching, and Rangi Mario.